So we're going to need to create a new map frame. Keep that the same. This will have to be 200,000. And this will be 0. Just make sure about that. You can name the map frame whatever you want. I'm just going to name it tut_island. And then your root folder, you just got to find your P drive again. So this PC, P drive, and then JF_tutorial island, and just do it straight in there. Create the subfolders. Now what that will do, if I have my source open right now, if I go into my source now, it's created some new folders, shapefiles, terrain builder, and land builder. So that's going to help us when we're actually getting to terrain builder. Processing. We'll go back to samples. Sorry. So the terrain size, the one that we're using, we're going to be using 1024.0. So that's how we're scaling it up. The sizes of your satellite image, that really depends on what size you're using. Yet again, it has to be the same size as the terrain. So obviously 1024.0. Yes, if you're doing 1024, you're gonna have to scale it up, but it's gonna look very blurry, which is why I suggested you exported it as a high resolution. Your grid size here, 40 would be the best. Your texture layer size, sorry, and that should be it really. So the terrain size is perfect, cell size is all good. Yep, that's all you really need. Then for your processing, you're gonna need to put your layers in there, and then you can save that. Well, that's gonna be all the settings you do, but I don't think we can save that until we have the actual terrain imported. So we'll quickly import the terrains. So file, import terrains, and put the XYZ in there. So there's our terrain in Terrain Builder. Let's just check its coordinates, and I don't think they're right, to be honest. Yeah, because we couldn't save the map frame. So make sure you go back into here, terrain coordinates and properties, and set easting to 200,000 and northing to 0. So 200,000. And the resolution has to be 1024.0 by 1024.0. So like I said, that would be 10 by 10 kilometers. I think I'm right. Yeah, that's about 10 kilometers. We can see the scale over there. Now we need to import. It has to be in the specific order. The order it has to be in is terrain at the top, then your satellite image, then your normal map, then your mask. It's a bit like Photoshop layers, if you get what I mean. And you can toggle them all at the top. If I could see my cursor, that would be very nice. Yeah, you can toggle them all at the top here. So this would be your terrain, your satellite, your normal, and your mask. So they all overlap each other. Whatever's at the bottom will overlap whatever's at the top. It's the opposite to Photoshop layers, but I don't know why it's like that, but that's just how it is. One thing I can recommend is Terrain Builder will be very, very laggy. It can crash from time to time, so just save it every now and then. You don't want your work to crash and you to lose your whole project. It would be very frustrating. So we're just going to import the sat map, because that's the next thing we have to do. So satellite images, we have to do the sat map. BMP, it literally takes seconds, while PNG, I don't know, it could take hours for a PNG to do. I just love BMP so much more than PNG. So just gonna let that load in quickly. It's taking its time. Oh, there we go. Terrain coordinates and properties, make sure it's the same, so 200,000 and 0, and the resolution has to be the same too, down here. So OK on that one. So we can toggle it here. That's obviously on top of the terrain, the layer. So if you were to untoggle the terrain, you can't see the terrain, but the actual satellite's on top, so if you get what I mean. You can fiddle around and you'll get what I mean when you actually play around with Terrain Builder. But yeah, that's the sat map put in there. Now we have the normal map. So normal map.bmp, this is just to get the rough 3D terrain. Not actually sure what it's used for. You don't need it, but I recommend putting it. It does something in game. I'm not actually sure. I'd have to look up on that, but yeah. There's our normal map. I'm not sure where it is. I think I might have untoggled it. It's the third one. There we go, yeah. So there's our normal map. I'll go to terrain coordinates and properties. So 200,000 and 0. Then the same resolution. So there's the normal map. And now we have our mask, which is the final one. So surface mask images, and then we put our mask in there. Hopefully this works. It doesn't crash, because it crashed last time when I tried to do it. Okay. Might have that unenabled. Yeah, there we go. That's enabled now. Terrain coordinates and properties, 200,000, and then 0. There we go. So there's your mask. So before we do anything, I'd recommend saving the project to your... Okay, I'll just save it to this directory. So you go to your source files, then you go to Terrain Builder, and then you just save it here to whatever you want to call it. So I'll just call it tut_island. There we go. So now it's saved. Every time you want to load your project, you just hit open, and you select your TV4P file, which would be in Terrain Builder. Okay, so now we've actually got that done. We can try and do the map frame now. So yeah, we need to redo this also. 200,000, and then 0. All the subfolders have been created anyway, but it's still a good idea to put the directory back where it was. So back to your P drive, and then Tut Island. Samples. Set this, well, I'm going to set the terrain resolution. Actually, grid size doesn't matter, just make sure this is on 1, because you don't want it to be a strange number. The terrain size is 1024.0. The size of your surface masks and all of this stuff, that's 1024.0. And set this back to 40, and that should be that. Now for the processing, we need to find our layers.cfg, so that would be in our source. We'll need to export these, and just tick everything here. So export the satellite texture, export the normal map and the surface mask. Keep it on 4 materials per cell, and then just convert them to PAA. So we'll generate the layers. It's complaining, unable to load the file P. Okay, so it's failing to load this layers.cfg. We'll see what's wrong with that. Okay, so I'm not actually too sure what the issue is. I went and copied layers.cfg off another map I did, and just renamed the paths, and I'm going to keep the classes the same as what the that one was, but I'm going to obviously rename the paths because the textures are different and the path is different. So it must have just been the way I copy and pasted it. I'm not the best at C++. Yeah, so that seems about right. So I'll close that now. Just make sure it's... Okay, make sure I didn't edit the wrong layers.cfg. Yeah, that's the right one. Okay, so we'll try that now. Okay, yeah, so it's just a error with the copy and pasting. Not too sure what it was. Alright, so that's that done. But before we can actually go through with that, we need to rebuild the terraining. Sometimes this gets really annoying. Yeah, we did it properly this time. Okay. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, so JF tutorial. Oh, it's missing. Yeah, right. The reason that's happening is because I have a texture in my RV map, which I don't actually have in my data folder. That's easy to fix it. So I'll just go... I don't know why I'm going here. I'll go to my P drive. I'll go to where I had the texture, so concrete. Copy that. Go back into my Tut Island and paste that in there, and then make the RV map right. Yep, now that that's done, it should properly work. So that's your map frame. You can delete the actual XYZ now, so remove this terrain. Yep. There we go. So now if you want to, you can view this in Bulldozer. I can teach you the controls in another part. It's taken a long time to perfect. There we go. So now we're in Bulldozer. You just use your mouse to move around. You can press Q to go up, Z to go down. So that way, why is it? It's not black when you go down. Phew. Oh, yes, it is black when you go down. Right. So one thing that can be causing that is black when it goes down. Okay, that's a problem with an RV map or a texture or the path in your layers.cfg. I'll fix that and tell you what caused that. But yeah, this is the terrain in game. It's looking quite nice. Let's see if the textures change as we go to the rocks. That's if we can actually see the textures. So I'll move up to rock. Yeah, rock's fine. It seems to be grass that's the issue. So rock's fine. Then what about sand? Sand is fine. Grass is the issue. Yeah, it's just grass that's the issue. So yeah, I'm glad this error actually came up, because now I can actually fix it if you guys ever come up with the error, because it's a very common error. So grass. AL grass is the problem. If I go to the RV map, maybe it was a typo. Tutorial. Island. Ah, yes, that was the issue. I put islands and not island. So that was literally the issue. Now if I save that, might have to regenerate the layers again, not too sure. But yeah, sometimes you have to regenerate the layers if you make an error and you fix it. So let's just close Bulldozer down. Bulldozer's already closed, I think. Right, I'll just open up Bulldozer again. See if it's fixed. If it's not, we'll regenerate the layers and see if that's fixed. Okay, let's see if it works. Okay, so cannot load texture. Tutorial, yeah, it's complaining, yeah. So I'll need to regenerate the layers. Well, I just thought it's probably worth telling you how to actually regenerate the layers. So you just double click on the map frame down at the bottom here. Double click on that. Processing, and you just generate your layers. It's literally all we do. Oh. Yeah, make sure you have all of that selected. Luckily I did, yeah. So your satellite, yeah, and then convert to PAA files. That's all you need selected at the moment. Yeah, and then I'll be back with you once this is done. Okay, so I've regenerated the layers now, and seems to be all good. By the way, you're gonna have to do this every single time you make an edit to either your satellite, your normal map, or your mask. Yeah, just to replace your mask, all you do is you remove it from the terrain, or same with the sat map, same with the normal, and you just import it over here and just drag it into the same order. Just make sure it's got the same coordinates as the other one and the same resolution. Should be all good. You just regenerate the layers and it's applied. So now that I've regenerated those, we should be able to see whether this works. Okay, yeah, we have now the grass texture. So that's that done. And it's looking all nice. I like it. Alright, so that's about it for this part. You've got a basic terrain in Bulldozer, and I can teach you the controls in the next part, which is probably going to be uploaded within a couple of hours of this video, maybe even a couple of minutes, depending on when I upload them. But yeah, I'll teach you the controls, I'll teach you how to do roads, objects, and all of that good stuff, yeah? And that's about it. I'll see you in the next part.